Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today for another garden update, and instead of doing the deck garden out here in the front, I'm now going to focus on the front yard garden. And in the next update, it'll be probably one of the backyard gardens. So let me hurry up and get to this because I got a lot to do today, including making some homemade tortillas to go with the carne asada I'm making for Patrick for dinner tonight. Okay, so I'm going to start with a full view here so you can see our fruit trees here in the front. And yes, our grass needs mowed. Patrick hasn't had a chance to get to it. Grass grows very quickly here in Rain Country. You can mow the yard and 3 days later it can look shaggy. But now this right here, this taller tree, is a peach tree. We started out with it in a pot. We got one peach on it when it was in the pot. A few years ago we transplanted it out here. We've had one peach on it since. Peaches don't do well in Rain Country, even those that are supposed to do good. So this may be the last year. I told Patrick, after this year, I'm not going to give it another chance. It's got to go and be replaced with a pear tree, because pears will do well here. Now this is a quince. We've had it for right at 2 years, as well as these two cherry trees here and here. And we did get, the very first year, we got a fruit on it. And I didn't really expect anything, being its first year and it was really young. Last year, we got nothing on any of our fruit trees out front here because it was such a strange year. And I'm hoping this year will be better. As you can see, it has flowers all over it, so it should do well. Now, both of my cherry trees, see, that one back there is a Bing. This one is a Stella. Last year they got a lot of flowers, but then the cold ended up killing off the fruit. I see a couple of cherries forming here, and I'm guessing the other cherry tree probably has some forming as well. So you can see at least one right there. I haven't really looked close at it. I'm still not expecting much. The last couple of years have been very strange. It'll get really warm and then really cold. It's not abnormal for weather to do the warm, cold thing a lot in the spring, but the extremes have been much greater than I ever remember. So this is a plum tree. Used to be in a pot, used to get lots of fruit, moved it out here, stopped producing fruit. So no blossoms at all this year. At any rate, I don't know. I may give this 1 or 2 more years because I know it can produce, but for some reason moving it out here it just hasn't been good for it, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so let's go on to the main garden section that's out here. And last garden update I did the deck garden. So the strawberries and the green stalk. Been very happy with that so far, by the way. And then strawberries in many other pots and so on. You can I'll link to the last video I did. So it'll be about 2 weeks old because I didn't do a video last week. Some things have come along quite a bit since I did that update, but I can cover that more later in a different video. So anyway, right here, I'm going to be putting carrots in here in probably about 2 more weeks. So this is one of the 2 carrot boxes I currently have. Last year I stuck a calendula in there just for a place to put it, just to add some more prettiness. And it's always nice when a calendula makes it through the winter because they're the first ones to start blooming, while my other calendula are only, the ones I start from seed this year, are this big. They're like an inch. Some are a few inches tall, but yeah. So anyway, I'll be putting those carrots in there soon. This shaggy looking section here that you can see I haven't really done anything with is because I'm just leaving it. I don't want to hassle with it because Patrick plans on building 2 to 3 more of these boxes like this. I'm going to put some carrots in here as well. I keep pulling these things out. I did start some turnips in here. I had some white beets in here. None of them germinated, but the turnips have germinated, and I need to really get in there and separate them out. And we need to do some weeding in here. And then I might move them to other garden sections as well, but I do want to leave some in here just to see how they'll do. So I'm going to at least fill this half up with carrots and then the other box up with carrots. What's going on here, besides some weeds I still need to get out, is I have 3 of my zucchini. Okay, one there, and one there. And they're looking pretty good. All that green you see back there are my potatoes, because that's where I'll grow my potatoes. And then I will, at the end of June, dig those up, and then by then my amaranth is usually ready to transplant in this section. I also, back there you can see right there, that is one of the 3 red corn I have. I'm sampling. So since the other corn I'm growing in the back garden, I thought I'd see if I can do this out here. Sorry, I keep having to stop because there's Patrick's running power tools out back for another garden section he's working on for me, and planes keep taking off from the airport on next to our other piece of property, and it gets really loud. So in fact, it seems louder here than when you're on the other piece of property that's right next to the airport. Anyway, so I'm trying to keep these as separated as possible from the other corn so they don't cross-pollinate. Now these 2 behemoths here, I haven't harvested anything off them yet, but I'm going to today for certain. Those are my 2 rhubarbs. I mean, these are massive. I have so much rhubarb still preserved up and dehydrated and frozen form from last year that I'm probably not going to put a lot of this up this year. I'm probably just going to end up giving a lot of it away, or hopefully I can even sell some. We'll see. But anyway, these, if you saw any of my last year videos, the zucchini out front here loves it, and it just gets huge. It gets, a lot of times will get as big as this rhubarb. But I did go ahead and put a couple out back. Now over here you can see a couple of my comfrey plants, which I don't know if you noticed. Back here at this peach tree, this is also a comfrey. And then here is some more comfrey. It looks like there's 2 plants right there. I thought I only had 1. But anyway, so I have plenty of comfrey. It's starting to get some pretty big leaves now. It's getting to that time of year. So what's happening here, this is one of my main herb sections. Right here, this is mostly where I grow my peppermint. So I just let it grow all over under the rhododendron, the azalea, the Japanese maple. And you can see I got a little bit of a pathway there where I can get in there and harvest. And I have some marshmallow coming up back there. It's not very tall. It'll get about 8 to 10 feet. And then that there is oregano, sage, lemon balm. This was a lemon balm I started from the one I was growing in the West Side Herb Garden, and it doesn't do super great over there. So I took a root cutting, put it in here. It was either last year or the year before, and it loves it out here much better because it gets a lot more sun. And you can see there's a potato. There's a potato there and there. I didn't plant those there this year, by the way. They just came up from old potatoes. Anyway, this section here, last year I was growing stuff in it, but I laid some newspaper down and then just tossed some dirt over it because I want to make this just a walkway anyway. And then just let the herbs, you know, keep a pathway here so I can get back to my other herbs for harvesting. So I've got an echinacea there. I've got horseradish. I think there's another horseradish or 2 back in there. And I think these are poppies. I don't know what that is. That's something that needs to pull up. But I think this right here are some poppies because Wendy had sent me a bunch of seeds last year. And the only thing I could really get to do anything for me were the poppies. And then I thought I killed them. But it looks like they're coming back because I'm pretty sure those are the same leaves. And then I got a daylily there. For those of you who don't know, daylilies are edible. So yeah, that's what's happening here. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is, I forgot to mention this. This is another peach tree. We've had this one for years. It's never, since we moved it out here, it hasn't given us any fruit. Anyway, because this was a gift from my father-in-law and he brought it straight up from California, we'd put it directly in the greenhouse. And it did give us fruit then, but it was never very good fruit. The only reason I keep it is when it does have all its leaves, it's just a beautiful little tree. But if I do decide to keep it at least as an ornamental, I need to really cut it back because it's starting to get too big. And I don't want it shading out my zucchini and stuff. But thankfully it doesn't fill in until everything else is a pretty good size. So back there, right there, that's my stinging nettle. And it'll keep getting taller. I haven't been cutting much more off of it because I'm gonna really try to get a lot of seed off of it this year. And those other shrubs are just shrubs that have been here. That's a Camellia japonica, and I don't know what that other one is, but you can make tea, by the way, out of that. I just don't really like those kind of teas. Oh, and this is as you can see, is a lilac. It's my first year. It was really, really young when I got it a couple of years ago. My first year getting flowers on it. And that's all the flowers it's getting. So I might turn them directly into tea because I've been wanting to try lilac tea for a long time. Let them finish blooming. But anyway, these the stinging nettle will get, it'll get about 6 feet tall, some of it. Really want to get some seed to put up on my store this year because I failed at that last year, and I apologize to those who were wanting that seed. Just like the valerian, failed on that one too. So hopefully we'll get the valerian this year. All right, well, that's my garden update for this week. So again, this is just the front yard garden, is how it's coming along so far, and I'll be doing more updates down the road. And as I said, next week or in 2 weeks, whenever I can get the next garden update out, I'll be focusing on either the back deck garden or just one of the gardens in the back. And eventually I'll be doing the West Herb garden. I have lots of garden areas to cover, and then just try to keep you updated on what's happening. All right, well, I hope you're enjoying the garden videos for 2021. I'm hoping this is going to be a better year than 2020. We still got a lot of great stuff last year, just some things did not produce at all, so it was kind of sad. So I'm hoping for better harvest. I do know my other fruit trees, our apple trees, they did terrible last year, but the one is looking really good this year. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.